Go.
Nutrition. What is nutrition? Nutrition is the nourishment to keep people healthy, help them grow and heal. A healthy diet is made up of the essential nutrients at the correct RDA. Macro and micronutrients. What is a macronutrient? A macronutrient is a carbohydrate, protein or a fat. What is a micronutrient? A micronutrient is a vitamin or a mineral. Carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are used as a primary energy source. They're composed in two different formats, simple or complex. Simple carbs are sugars that break down quickly and can be found in fruits or sweet foods, whereas complex carbs break down slower and can be found in pasta, bread, or etc. All carbohydrates are made of glucose, fructose, and galactose. Glucose is natural sugar. Galactose is not natural. It is sugar formed where milk is formed. And fructose is found in most sweet fruits and vegetables such as melon, pineapple, honey, or parsnips. All carbohydrates form from glucose when digested. Glucose is transported around the body through the bloodstream and taken into cells to be converted into energy. The pancreas in your abdomen secretes the hormone insulin, which controls the intake of glucose to your cells. The average adult's daily intake should be 47% of their daily energy from carbs and 48% for men. Carbohydrates are absorbed in the small intestine. When digested, carbs convert into simple sugars. Fibre can affect how quickly carbs are absorbed. Fats. Consumption of too much fat can also make us more likely to put on weight, because foods that are high in fat are high in energy too, which is measured in kilojoules, kg, or calories, kcal. Being overweight raises our pressure as well as coronary disease. This doesn't mean that all fat is bad. We need some fat in our diet because it helps the body absorb certain nutrients. Fat is also a source of energy, and as well as some vitamins, such as vitamins A and D, provides essential fatty acids that the body can't make itself. Fats we can eat more of, unsaturated fats, and the fats we should avoid are saturated fats. Remember, we don't need to cut down on every type of fat. Some fats are not only good for us, most people should be eating more of them. Fats provide a second source of energy, but slowly. It's the main source of protein. The main purpose of protein is to help repair and promote growth for muscle, skin and organs. Proteins are classed as a macronutrient, and as they are bigger than micronutrients, protein can be found in any meat, or if you're a vegetarian or vegan, in pulses. Pulses include beans, lentils, peas. They are cheap, low fat and good source of protein, fibre, vitamins, minerals, and they count towards your recommended 5 a day for fruit and veg. And tofu, which is also animal friendly, is a substitute for meat. Most meats have saturated fats in them. Protein can also be found in most insects. Infants require 10 grams a day. Teenage girls need 46 grams a day. Adult men need 56 grams a day. And adult women about 46 grams a day. Fibre. Soluble fibre dissolves in water. It is readily fermented in the colon into gases and physiological active byproducts and can be prebiotic or vicious. Soluble fibres tend to slow the movement of food through the system. Insoluble fibre does not dissolve in water. It can be metabolically inert and provide bulking or prebiotic metabolically fermenting in the large intestine. Bulking fibres absorb water as they move through the digestive system, easing defecation. Fermentable insoluble fibres mildly promote stool regularity, although not to the extent that bulking fibres do, but they can readily fermented in the colon into gases and physiologically active byproducts. Insoluble fibres tend to accelerate the movement of food through the system.
Vitamins. What is a vitamin? A vitamin is an organic compound required by an organism as a vital nutrient in limited amounts. An organic chemical compound is called a vitamin when it cannot be synthesized in sufficient quantities by an organism and must be obtained from the diet. Put into context, the term vitamin includes other essential nutrients such as dietary minerals, essential fatty acids and essential amino acids. Categories of vitamins. Vitamins are separated into two categories, fat-soluble and water-soluble. Fat-soluble vitamins are stored in your liver and do not need to be replaced every day. Just like water-soluble vitamins, fat-soluble vitamins are needed in your diet to keep you healthy. Water-soluble vitamins are highly soluble and require daily replenishment in your body. Vitamin A. Vitamin A, it is a fat-soluble vitamin. The adult male requires 900 milligrams. If you have deficiency of vitamin A, you will suffer from night blindness, which will make it impossible to see in low light areas. An overdose of vitamin A will result in hypervitaminosis A. Signs of acute toxicity include nausea and vomiting, headache, dizziness, blurred vision and loss of muscular coordination. This vitamin is commonly found in carrots, milk and leafy vegetables. Vitamin D. Vitamin D helps regulate the amount of calcium and phosphate in the body. We get most of our vitamin D from the sunlight that is projected onto our skin. The vitamin D is also found in a number of foods such as oily fish, fat spreads, fortified breakfast cereals and powdered milk. Generally, people will get vitamin D without knowing they are intaking. Vitamin E. Vitamin E is responsible for the maintenance of cell structure and cell membranes. The richest sources of vitamin E is in plant oils, i.e. soya, olive oil or corn. It is also found in nuts and seeds or wheat germ, which is found in cereals. The recommended daily allowance for men is 4 milligrams and for women 3 milligrams. Vitamin E is stored in the body if it is not needed, so you do not necessarily need it daily. Vitamin E is absorbed within the small intestine. Vitamin K. Vitamin K is the vitamin that is needed for blood clotting. This means that it will help with the healing process of a wound. There is evidence that vitamin K is needed to improve bone strength. Vitamin K is found in green, leafy vegetables such as spinach or broccoli. It is also found in vegetable oils and cereals. A small amount can be found in meat and dairy. Adults need 0.001 milligrams of vitamin K per kg of their body weight. For example, a fully grown adult that weighs 85 kilograms needs 0.085 milligrams of vitamin K. Absorption of vitamin K takes place in the gallbladder and liver depending on their health. Vitamin D. Vitamin B complex is a water-soluble vitamin. The name of the 8 B vitamins, B1 thiamine, B2 riboflavin, B3 niacin, niacinamide, B5 pantothenic acid, B6 pyridoxine, pyridoxamine, pyridoxal, B7 biotin, B9 folic acid, folinic acid, B12 cyanocobalamin. A deficiency in these vitamins ranges from erythrobioflavinosis to megaloblastic anemia. Overdosing on these vitamins can result in drowsiness, liver damage, nerve damage, and an acne-like rash. These vitamins can be found in meat, oatmeal, brown rice, vegetables, potatoes, liver, eggs, etc. Vitamin C. Vitamin C is also known as ascorbic acid and has several important functions. The vitamin helps protect cells and keep them healthy, helps wound healing, and is necessary for the maintenance of healthy tissue. A lack of vitamin C can lead to scurvy. The symptoms of scurvy are lethargy and spots forming on the skin, spongy gums, and bleeding from the mucous membranes. In extreme cases, loss of teeth, suppurating wounds, and death. The recommended daily allowance for an average adult is 40 milligrams a day. Vitamin C cannot be stored in the body, so you need to have it in your diet every single day. Minerals. What is a mineral? A mineral element needed in the human body to keep it healthy and functioning to its full potential. It is a natural substance that is found in the earth. Categories of minerals. Minerals are separated into macro and micro minerals. Macro mineral are minerals that are stored in higher content than micro minerals. The main macro minerals are calcium, phosphorus, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and chlorine. And micro minerals are minerals needed in a tiny amount. The main micro minerals are iron, sulfur, and iodine.
What minerals will be included? Calcium, phosphorus, sodium, potassium, magnesium, chlorine, iron, sulfur, and iodine. Calcium helps with the development of bones and teeth. Calcium also aids the blood in clotting and the nervous system to send messages. The main source of calcium is dairy products. Calcium is absorbed in the small intestine and can be properly absorbed without the aid of vitamin D. The recommended daily allowance is 1,000 milligrams. Phosphorus. Phosphorus is needed for the production of energy, the metabolic system, and to help keep the bones healthy. The main source of phosphorus is dairy products, meats, grains, peas, and beans. Phosphorus is absorbed in the intestines. We've got a graph here to show you recommended daily allowance. Sodium is needed for controlling blood pressure and regulating the functions of muscles and nerves. The main source of sodium is table salt, but it is also found in bacon and other salty meats, cheese, and snack foods. Sodium is absorbed in the small intestine in the ileum section. The sodium has to be taken in moderation as it is linked to high blood pressure and weight gain. The recommended daily allowance is 2,300 milligrams. Potassium. Potassium is needed for muscle contractions and nerve functions. It is found in orange juice, dairy products, whole grains, and vegetables. It is absorbed in the small intestine. The recommended daily allowance is 4,700 grams from the age of 13 up. Magnesium. Magnesium is needed for the production and function of specific enzymes, transport of energy around the body, and to contract and relax muscles. The main source of magnesium is fruit and vegetables, nuts, peas, and beans, and whole grains. It is absorbed in the small intestine. The recommended daily requirements of magnesium is children from 1 to 3 years old, 80 milligrams, 4 to 8 year olds, 130 milligrams, 9 to 13 year olds, 240 milligrams, 4 to 18 year olds for boys is 410 milligrams, and for girls it's 360 milligrams. For adult females it's 310 to 320 milligrams. Pregnant females 350 to 400 milligrams. Breastfeeding women 310 to 360 milligrams, and adult males 400 to 420 milligrams. Chlorine is needed to help the process of osmosis throughout the body. It helps produce the hydrochloric acid in the stomach and helps regulate the acidic level of the body. The main source of chlorine is salt in vegetables, seaweeds, olives, lettuce, tomatoes and celery. It is absorbed in the stomach and small intestine. The recommended daily allowance is 3,400 milligrams.
Iron. Iron is needed in the blood to produce hemoglobin. It oxygenizes the blood, which means oxygen can be carried to all the muscles and organs. Low levels of iron can cause anemia. Iron can be found in fruits, vegetables, meats, beans, grains, and iron is absorbed in the duodenum, the small intestine. Here is a recommended daily allowance grid. Sulfur. Sulfur is needed to aid enzyme reactions from the 4 major amino acids. It is used for maintenance in the skin, hair and nails. The main source is meat, fish, eggs and milk and legumes. It is absorbed in the small intestine. The sulfur recommended daily allowance. There is no guideline to how much sulfur you should take, although it suggests that you should have 800 to 900 milligrams. Iodine. Iodine is needed to aid thyroid action and ensure it works properly. Iodine is found in fish. It is absorbed in the stomach and the duodenum. Here's a grid of the iodine recommended daily allowance. Recommended daily allowance. The recommended daily allowance is the guideline for the amount of nutrients a human should intake, and it is used for assessing dietary intake. The amount of nutrients that people need varies for each individual. This is because people are different heights and weights, they have different metabolic rates and have different eating plans and also age. Generally, males tend to have higher recommended daily allowance because they are naturally stronger. Digestion. The digestive system. The mouth. The mouth is the start of the digestive process. This is where the food and drink enter the body, which is where we get all the nutrients, vitamins and minerals from. The first way our mouth breaks down the food is by using different types of teeth to cut the food. Your incisors, ripping and tearing food. Your canines, crushing teeth and premolars. The teeth these are your grinding teeth. Your incisors and canines are sharp and your premolars are flat with a larger surface area as to break down food. As you break the food down, your mouth produces saliva. Saliva contains an enzyme that begins to break down the starch in foods into smaller molecules. The tongue moves the food into the teeth, which means it can be made smaller and mixed with the saliva. This lubricates it and makes it easier to swallow. Along with the tongue pushing the food to the back of the mouth to help swallow. Esophagus.
Your esophagus is a tube that starts in your throat and passes food through to your stomach. The food takes around 7 seconds for food to pass down it. The esophagus uses muscular contractions called peristalsis, which means we can swallow in any position, even upside down. Stomach. The stomach is an organ that is made up of 3 layers of muscle. This means that the stomach can contract to churn the food and break it down into even smaller pieces. Whilst the muscles are churning the food, the stomach produces an acid called hydrochloric acid. Also, pepsin is released to aid the process. Pancreas. When the chyme first passes through to the small intestine, Pancreas releases pancreatic juices to aid the breaking down of the partially solid chyme. Also released is sodium bicarbonate as it neutralises the chyme from the strong hydrochloric acid. Pancreas produces insulin which goes directly into the bloodstream as it metabolises sugars. Liver. The liver produces bile, salt solution, which helps to break down fats. This is done in the duodenum as well as the enzymes from the pancreas working. The liver also processes all the nutrients absorbed and excretes the excess or any toxins from the body. Gallbladder. The gallbladder is a small organ that sits under the liver. Its function is to store the bile. Whilst the bile is being stored, it becomes more concentrated, and when released, it helps to aid the digestion and absorption of fats. You can live without a gallbladder. The bile will go from the liver straight to the duodenum. Small intestine. Small intestine is around 23 feet long and is folded up to make finger-like folds. This increases the surface area, resulting in a high blood supply through blood vessels called villi. Small intestine is made up of 3 parts. These are the duodenum, jejunum, ileum. Duodenum is where most of the breakdown of the nutrients happens, as it has the chemicals added from the liver and pancreas. The duodenum and the ileum are where nutrients are mainly absorbed. When leaving the ileum, constituency of the food is thick liquid, watery, soap-like. Appendix.
The appendix is a small organ that isn't needed in the modern day human, and many people have had them removed due to illness. Recent studies show that the appendix can help by producing good bacteria by excreting bad bacteria. Colon, or large intestine. The colon is about 1.5 metres long and is split into 3 parts: ascending colon, transverse colon, and descending colon. This is where the absorption of fluid takes place. Vitamin K and B is produced and absorbed into the body. Good bacteria lines the colon to help separate the nutrients from the waste products. Fat, roughage, dead cells and bad bacteria are then passed to the rectum, ready to be excreted. And the rectum is here. The rectum is about 8 inches long and is where all the waste products are stored before exiting the body. Your brain sends a signal to the rectum when it is full, telling it to open, and then it releases the feces to the anus. The anus is at the bottom here. It is 2 inches long, and it's where the feces pass through to exit the body. Digestion. Digestion is an essential function that occurs within the complex structure of the human body. There are 2 types of digestion: mechanical and chemical. Mechanical digestion is using body parts and organs to digest food, such as the stomach, churning the food up. Mechanical digestion starts in the mouth, where the teeth grind the food down to a small surface area so it's easier to digest. This is called mastication. The food then passes down to the stomach. The stomach is a large spherical organ where the food is stored and churned for an average of 2 to 4 hours. The type of food that is being churned is an important variable that affects how long it takes. Warmer food digests faster than colder food. Once the food has been digested, it passes further down into the small intestines. These intestines are compact into a small area, and if the small intestines are stretched out, they can cover the area of a tennis court. The process that forces the food down through the muscles is called peristalsis. Eventually, the process continues and the food passes down through all the organs and all the muscles involved in the digestion system and is then excreted through the anus. Chemical digestion is the use of chemicals and enzymes to break down foods. It happens at every point of the digestion system, and it begins at the sight of food or the smelling of food. These senses set of nerves which cause enzymes to be produced. For example, smelling food might force your salivary glands to produce saliva, which is also used to break down the food into nutrients. The body then uses nutrients to build and repair tissues and muscles. The cells within the digestive system release hydrochloric acid, which also works with other chemicals to break down food.